Alright, might be a pike. That's alright, we'll start with him. Little guy. One more shake. Nice little guy to start her off with. Today we're throwing one of my favorite baits. Throwing big swim baits. These are nice. These are big baits. A lot of people think these are too big for the fish in our area, but you know what? Fish in general like bigger meals. It's less work for them, and they can fill up faster off of one meal using a lot less energy than they can eating 4, 5, 6 other smaller meals. So we're throwing big baits today, mainly big swim baits, across weed flats and weed edges, in deeper water. We're catching some fish. And I'm going to show you just how versatile these swim baits are. Alright. Big old largemouth. Swim baits is such a versatile lure. Everything eats them. I mean, when they talk about getting your baits to match the hatch, they are picking swim baits, man. Look at that thing. It's an absolute giant. And that's how they eat swim baits. Just gorge themselves with them. Telling you, these swim baits are such good tools to have in your tackle box. You really need to have some. You know, in the spot we're fishing right now, we're on a mid-lake piece of structure here. There's kind of a deep flat here, and there's this little high-rise that comes up to about 14 feet. And all I'm doing, it's like I was showing you, I'm working this lure the same exact way. I'm casting out, let it hit bottom, work it back a little bit, drop. Work it back a little bit, drop. And right when you pick that lure up and start going, that's when those fish hit. And there's no funner way to catch them. So I'm going to up for a second here. I'm going to show you how I rig these up. Now this is just a 3/4 inch jig head. I believe it's a Kalin's saltwater hook. And you want this big chunk of lead. You want a heavy jig head, 3/4 inch minimum. You want this big wide hook gap in here. Now when you take these baits, there's 2 ways you can rig them. One is flat, so the bait sits like this. And the other way is normal or straight up and down. But the key to this is they have to be perfectly straight or you're not going to get a good action. So what you can do is kind of lay the bait up against the head, and kind of mark where your hook's going to come out. Then you just want to go right down the middle, pop that hook out, go all the way up, and there you go. You want them to be perfectly straight going across. That's going to give you the right action you want. If you have it sideways, that bait's not going to quite flicker right underwater, and you're not going to get as much hits. So we're rigged up, I'm going to get back out there and get one. Yeah. Boy, these baits are such a blast to fish. Looks like another pike. The hits, I mean, you wouldn't believe, it's not necessarily a big fish. I mean, the lure's just about as big as his head. But they hit this thing with such ferocity. I mean, they get so mad at these baits that they can't help it. I mean, when I catch walleyes on these baits, this whole bait's down their mouth. And I'm not talking like a 10-pound walleye. I'll catch 16, 17-inch walleyes in this whole bait. 7-inch bait is down their mouth. And these baits are very, very versatile. I'll kind of show you the way that I'm fishing the bait today anyway. You can fish them in a number of different ways, and you kind of want to try a few different things when you're out there, see what the fish are reacting to. But today, I got the boat out in a little deeper water, and I'm casting to the inside edge of this weed line, and I'm just letting that line sit. I'm waiting for that bait to hit the bottom, right there, and I give it a good little pop, and then I just reel nice and slow. What I'm trying to do is keep that bait about a foot above the bottom. And about every 15-20 feet I'll just stop. Let it hit bottom again right there. It'll pop. Keep it coming back to the boat. Because what that bait does, that big paddle tail, is it vibrates and swims through the water, and then when it stops it just goes free falls. And as soon as you pick that bait up again, you give it that big rip. That's where a lot of your hits come from on these baits. Nice fish. There we go. Swim bait bass. Big old swim bait. Nice big old bass. I'm telling you guys, if you're not throwing swim baits, you're really missing out on a good bite. These baits have been around for a few years now and they're just going nuts lately. Nice fish. Go to the local tackle shop, get yourself some big lead head jigs, some nice big 6-7 inch swim baits, and get out there and start chucking them around on your local lakes. You're going to catch some real big fish. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.